There's this really sick playlist on Spotify that's really motivating, it's really inspiring, called Fearless Motivation. They've got tons of stuff on there, and it's basically a bunch of like...
Every morning, I rise. My feet touch the floor. I'm prepared for war, prepared to grow, ready for more. Average will never live in me. I'll show all you doubters. I will win. You will see. I'm ready to give.
What is going on? This is Nick from Evil Shred Fitness, here with another video specifically focusing on isolation exercises in the upper body this time. So I'm going to go and do an upper body workout later on today, but first I'm going to go get some breakfast because I'm very hungry, just woken up. So I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Boom, here's the result. So this is a smoothie that I made for breakfast. So as you can see, there's a lot going on, and I actually can't see because it's all mixed together. But there are, I put 250 grams of milk in there. Sometimes I use soya, sometimes I'll use the regular or skimmed milk, but I fancied higher calories today, so I went for the regular milk option, and also it has high protein in it. And I had about 150 grams of porridge oats. You can get these at the supermarket, just the regular oats. And I included peanut butter for an extra kick in my smoothie as well. It's high in protein and high in fat as well. And then I added frozen berries. So this would be raspberries, cranberries, and blackberries and blueberries. So the reason I chose to add frozen berries and not defrost them first is because when they're all mixed up into the smoothie, it gives it a really cold and nice refreshing cold taste in the morning. So that's my smoothie. I'll put up the macros on the screen and you can see, whether this will be beneficial to you based on your goals. It's a great start to the day. So I'm going to go eat that now and I'll catch you in a little bit. I forgot to say the most important part, whey protein. This will comprise the bulk of my protein intake for that meal. So this will be a scoop of whey protein, and it is about 20 grams of protein in total, okay? Alright, what do you think? I had a little product in my hair as well, just to sharpen up. I think I look pretty good. So anyway, I just want to now talk quickly or very briefly about a couple of points when performing accessory lifts. So specifically, I want to talk about the rear delt. So the rear delt is one of the three heads of the shoulder deltoid, and it doesn't get a lot of love because its main function is via a shoulder movement known as transverse abduction. Okay, so transverse abduction involves moving your shoulders or your arms in away from your midline and in a horizontal plane of motion. Okay, so any exercise such as the bent over lateral raise or a pec deck machine fly or even a face pull, these exercises involve a certain degree of transverse abduction, okay? So it's very important to know this term because there's not a lot of compound exercises that involve this range of motion, okay? A lot of, especially shoulder exercises, so for example, the military press involves a lot of the medial head of the deltoid, the middle head, okay? And also the front head, especially when you're doing chest exercises as well. So for example, if we're doing an incline variation of the barbell press, you will be using a lot of your front delt as a supporting muscle, okay? The rear delt is also very important and it doesn't get targeted enough. It's especially important for that aesthetic round kind of boulder shoulders, as they're called. But also functionally they help maintain your posture as well, and if this isn't maintained then you're going to get bad posture further down the line, okay? So I wanted to talk about how it's important to target this muscle and how you can't really do it during compound lifts. This is why accessory lifts are very important. So how can we target this muscle? Okay, so if we were to do any exercise that involves transverse abduction, then we're going to activate it more heavily than any other muscle group. Okay, so any kind of pec deck machine motion, range of motion, any kind of bent over lateral raise or face pulls. You will feel this on your rear delts, okay? It's very important to include one of these accessory lifts at the end of your upper body workout. So I would do this for high rep ranges, okay? So anywhere between 12 and 20 reps for about 2 sets. You don't need to do any more than that. And you will feel it on your rear delts, okay? Especially if you haven't trained them much in the past. You will feel like a really kind of solid ache in your rear delts. Any kind of rear delt exercise that involves like a shrug at the end of the range of motion will target the trapezius as well, okay? So now that we've kind of talked about that and why accessory lifts are important, I'm going to go to the gym now, show you a few of these exercises, and I'll catch you in a little bit. So I'm going to show you a few accessory exercises you can do with your upper body workout, starting with the face pulls. Okay, so with the face pulls, I go at a weight where it can actually take my weight so I can lean back, and then I proceed to pull the weights. It's what's called a face pull. You're pulling it up towards your face and out to the side. So you're going to feel this on your rear delts predominantly. And I did this for 2 sets of between 10 and 12 reps. Then moving on to the chest fly. This is a great complementary exercise you can do with your chest press. This will target the chest muscles completely, as opposed to the compound variation, which affects other parts of the body as well, such as the triceps. You can see again I'm going for high rep ranges so I can really get that burn on the chest, focusing on stretching and contracting the pectoralis muscle at the top and bottom of the range of motion, okay? Then moving onwards to tricep push downs. Tricep push downs are a great exercise for also isolating the triceps. Again, going for high rep ranges to really get that burn. Then I lowered the cable down to the bottom so then I could then perform bicep curls. This would be with a neutral grip using the rope. This will hit the biceps brachii. Then moving on to a back isolation back exercise, so the lat pull down. The difference between this exercise and the pull up is although they mimic the same range, or they have the same range of motion as such, this exercise will isolate the lats as opposed to the pull up, which targets both the lats and the biceps, okay? Also, I'm shrugging my shoulders up, so this will also hit the trapezius muscle as well. Moving onwards to the lateral raise, this will isolate the shoulders or the deltoid, especially in this variation where I'm standing upright. This will isolate the medial head of the deltoid. The more you bend over during this exercise, the more it's going to hit the rear delts, but since we already targeted the rear delts with the face pulls, I'm just going to show you the upright lateral raises. Now that we've done my workout for the day, I'm going to move on now to my post-workout nutrition. So in this meal, I'm going to be focusing mainly on lentils. Now, lentils have a variety of properties that are helpful to for metabolism in the body, for high protein, for high carbohydrates, and an immense amount of other properties. So I'm just going to go through them real quick. So I got the red lentil variety. Lentils are really good for your health. A, because they're low in calories and high in nutrition, all right? So they're very important to someone who, for example, is trying to lose weight. Obviously, this is not my case, but I really like lentils anyway, so I like putting them in my meals alongside other more caloric-dense foods. They're also really great for lowering your cholesterol if you have that problem. They contains high levels of soluble fiber, so it lowers cholesterol and reduces other undesirable problems in your body, such as heart disease risk and so on. and therefore it also increases heart health. It contains micronutrients such as folate and magnesium, which help maintain heart health as well, okay? So lentils are also high in protein. For those of you who are vegan and vegetarian, this is a great source of protein, with about 26% of the calories in lentils coming from protein, okay? They're also high in carbohydrates. They're a complex carbohydrate, meaning that it's energy. And also, lastly, they're a good source of iron. So iron is responsible for transporting oxygen around the body, and therefore it maintains your metabolism. So that's some of the kind of properties that it has in the human body. It's really good for you. I'm going to be having a very lentil heavy meal for lunch, and I will get back to you when I've prepared it. Also, I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I just read that from my book of notes, so I'm not as smart as I sounded there. Okay, so let's get to it, and I will get back to you in a little bit. So this is the result. This is kind of a tuna lentil soupy type thing. I've got let's have a look. So I've got beans in here. These are like kidney beans and like a mixture of other beans as well. And we've also got a tin tomato base, and a lot of herbs and spices to really give it a taste, because it'll be pretty bland without those, I think. I've also got some chopped up yellow peppers and tomatoes as well, just for again a vitamin C boost. This was really quite easy to make, so yeah, that's an easy one to make. Just throw it all in a pan, and obviously you have to heat up your lentils first, but then throw it all in a pan, heat that all up, maybe add a bit of water just to like keep it like so it can actually boil in something, and yeah, give that like 10 minutes of that, and then this is kind of what you got out of it. So I'm going to eat this now, and I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. So I think that concludes today's episode. I think I covered a lot of ground today. To summarize, I firstly talked about accessory lifts in the upper body, and how they're important in a workout routine. And I used the rear delts or the posterior delts or deltoids as an example. And then I covered how we can activate the rear delts through transverse abduction. And finally, I talked about the properties of lentils and why they're important to our health and muscle growth as well. So I think it's important to include these in your diet. So now that I've covered these points, I'm going to go away now, do some more research. I'll come back to you with another action-packed video in the near future. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.